Disclaimer. None of the characters or artworks, including the ones in the thumbnail, are mine. This is not an accurate portrayal of the characters. This is not a defamation of character either. This is only for entertainment. Warning. Foul language. Onto the video. Sakusa woke with a start. Ugh. He groaned as he sat up, his hand on his head. Hey. Komori peeked into the room. You okay? No. What happened? You passed out. What? Wait. These are my clothes yesterday. Did I go to bed without changing? Like I said, you passed out. Sakusa crinkled his nose. Ugh, can you please tell someone to change my sheets as well as pillowcases? I need to take a bath. Won't you have breakfast first? Later. When I don't feel disgusting. Okay. As he was taking a shower, the memories of what happened last night finally surfaced in Sakusa's mind. Kita is Atsumu's first love. Sakusa shook his head free of the dark thoughts clawing their way into the front of his mind. So what? Atsumu still chose you. He may have had loved Kita, but he loves you. And more than Kita probably. They were never together, remember? It's fine. You just need to show Atsumu you truly love him. Sakusa focused on that thought. As long as Atsumu loves you, he won't fall for anyone else. Decision made. Sakusa hastened cleaning his body. Sakusa knocked on the mirror's door. He made sure to come early in hopes for more opportunities. The door opened and reveals Osamu. It's you again. Osamu went in to slam the door again only for it to be stopped by Sakusa. Osamu, please let me talk to Atsumu. Sakusa has had enough of Osamu interfering. He appreciates the protectiveness, yes. Think it's cute even, especially when Atsumu complains about it with a small smile on his face which betrays his actual feelings about it. He does not however like it being turned against him. He fucked up, yes. But if Osamu's going to intervene every time he tries to make amends, then he won't ever be able to apologize properly. No. Osamu used his shoulders to push the door close while Sakusa does the same but to keep the door open. What are you doing? Atsumu. Osamu jumped away from the door leaving Sakusa to topple forward. Sakusa. Osamu smirked at Sakusa while Sakusa fought down a blush as he stood up from his place on the ground. Oh my god. Are you okay? Atsumu fretted over Sakusa and it was Sakusa's time to smile smugly at Osamu's direction while Osamu scowled. I'm fine, Atsu, he said as he handed Atsumu his daily roses. Thank you. Atsumu blushed. He's never getting used to this. By the way, what are you doing here? Oh, I was hoping you'd like to go get breakfast with me. I'll walk you to school afterwards. Oh shoo, no. Why not? I already cooked food. I don't like food being wasted, Tsumu. But I thought you said you haven't started yet. I've already prepared the ingredients. Well, won't Suna come here? You can just eat together. Oh, Suna's not just then. Suna entered the house. He raised an eyebrow at the three of them, then rolled his eyes at the pouting Osamu. He pulled his boyfriend to the kitchen and waved goodbye to the pair left, but not before glaring at Sakusa. They can hear Osamu spluttering in indignation as his boyfriend pulled him away from the potential crime scene. Sakusa cleared his throat. So you were saying? Huh? Oh, I'd love to. Let me just go get change. Okay. They went to Atsumu's favorite cafe. Good morning and welcome to Oshi's cafe. What can I get you? Oh, Atsumu. Hi. Hey fudge. Author is desperate lol. The waitress directed them to a seat at the terrace, where she knows is Atsumu's favorite spot. She waited for them to get settled before giving them the menu. I'm sure you already know the drill, but just in case, if you're ready to order, please press that button so I can come and take them. Thank you, fudge. We will. Sakusa took the menu and started looking for a dish that looked interesting. Surprisingly, everything almost was. Have you chosen, Sakusa? Oh, not yet. There's a lot of things I want to try here. Sakusa almost never goes out to eat. He likes to cook his own food. That way he can make sure everything is actually clean. If he does go out, he mostly goes to 5-star restaurants because they should be clean. Although this cafe looks really clean, so he guesses it's fine. Anything for Atsumu. Yeah. All of the food here is delicious and cheap as well. Trust me. I tasted everything on their menu. Really? Yeah. When it first opened, I came here to try it, then got hooked. After that, I came by every day to try a different dish. You have chosen then? Yup. I've been craving for some chicken Tuscan pasta. Then I'll get the same. Really? Don't you want another dish? Well, maybe we can come here again next time so you can show me their best dishes? Atsumu positively glowed. Sure. Yes. Another date. They ordered their food and started eating. While they were eating, Atsumu filled the atmosphere with random stories he could think of. He looked really animated while telling the story and Sakusa can't take his eyes off of him. This is what Atsumu should always be. Happy. Wow, what? Why are you staring at me like that? Sorry. Am I making you uncomfortable? You're just really beautiful. Atsumu blushed at the words, but it was the way it was said that made his heart skip a beat. It was said in a tone so odd, so breathless that for a moment, Atsumu almost believed it. Sakusa saw how Atsumu smiled, the smile that Sakusa hates. It was a smile so fake, so bittersweet and full of disbelief, and he hated himself for being the cause of that. Sakusa shook his head and ignored it. Pushing the issue now would just make things worse. But one day he'll make Atsumu believe. You should eat your food, Achu. You're going to be late for training. Oh shit. Samu's gonna kill me. Atsumu started stuffing the pasta into his mouth, and if it was anyone else, Sakusa would be disgusted, but since it was Atsumu, Sakusa thought it was adorable. Sakusa ate the rest of his food calmly while Atsumu still continuously stuffed his mouth. Sakusa handed him a glass of water. Careful. We have time. You don't want to choke. Oh right. Atsumu continued eating at a normal pace this time. Achu. He looked up from his bowl as his name was called. Yeah? Sakusa leaned forward and wiped the sauce staining the corner of Atsumu's lip with his thumb. Atsumu stared with wide eyes as Sakusa licked the sauce off of his thumb while maintaining eye contact with Atsumu. Sakusa smiled. Delicious. Omi. What? Atsumu's face is as red as Japan's volleyball team uniform. Sakusa smiled innocently. I didn't want to waste such a delicious dish. Atsumu's face became even redder if that was possible. They were interrupted by a flash of a camera followed by a small squeal. They looked to the side and saw Fudge standing there with her phone in her hands, still posed to take a picture. Later. Please send me the picture. The pair walked to the school shoulder to shoulder, with their fingers brushing slightly with each other. Atsumu still had a blush on his face while Sakusa had the happiest look on his face. He slowly flexed his pinky and looped it with Atsumu's, waiting for a rejection, but Atsumu just gave his pinky a tiny squeeze. They reached the school both with blushes on their faces, Atsumu more prominent than Sakusa's. We've arrived. Yeah. So yeah. I'll go. Bye. Achu wait. Yeah, would you like to go on a date with me again tomorrow? Atsumu winced. Sorry Sakusa, but I agreed to go to the festival with Kita-san tomorrow. Sakusa's mood soured. Well, maybe I can come. The more the merrier after all. And I haven't really been to a festival in a long time. Really? Then sure you can come. I'd love to have you there with us, but are you sure? There's a lot of people there. Sakusa shrugged nonchalantly. I think I'll be fine. You'll be there with me after all. Atsumu blushed again. Okay, good. So I'll meet you at the plaza tomorrow at 7? Sure. Sakusa stepped forward slowly, then lifted his hands and took hold of both of Atsumu's cheeks. Atsumu's eyebrows furrowed in confusion. Sakusa kissed the top of Atsumu's head. He can feel the Atsumu's cheeks heating up beneath his palms. Sakusa released Atsumu and took a step back. Omi. Sakusa reached for Atsumu's hand and kissed the back of it. Atsumu watched Sakusa's gentle actions with eyes glistening in unshed tears. You better get going, Achu. Your brother might have my head this time if you're late. Huh? What? Atsumu snapped out of his daze. Oh shit, you right. Bye Omi. Atsumu called out with a blush before running to the gym. The fact that he used the nickname means he's still not entirely back. Sakusa stood there, watching until minutes after Atsumu could no longer be seen. Sakusa decided to dress to impress on the day of the festival. He never really cared much for looks as long as it looked and is clean. Then it's fine. People told him he looked really good in black. Something about his eyes and hair and the contrast with his skin apparently made him look really good in black. So he's wearing black now. No way he's going to lose Atsumu to Kita or anyone else. He decided to wear his mask this time when he didn't wear it all week, because at least before, he's only with Atsumu. Now though, there's hundreds of people here and they are all packed so closely together. He walked into the plaza and just stared at the amount of people present. There were many, which was normal since it's a festival and all, but Sakusa. Sakusa turned around and his breath was caught in his throat. Wow. Sakusa said he wouldn't lose to anyone, but damn. Atsumu had them all beat. Beautiful. Sakusa let out a whisper of wonder. Did you say something? Atsumu asked as he came to a stop in front of Sakusa. Sakusa just stared, uncomprehending the beauty in front of him. Sakusa, hello? Anyone there? Atsumu giggled and Sakusa sucked in a breath. Gorgeous. Wow, what? Atsumu blushed as red as the clothes he's wearing. You're stunning, Achu. Atsumu blushed even harder. Omi. They both stood there. Atsumu blushing. Sakusa staring in awe at Atsumu. Maybe we should go and explore? We're kind of in the way. Oh right. He's here. Oh right. Let's go. Atsumu smiled at the both of them while Sakusa and Kita examined each other. Sakusa couldn't quite suppress the scowl that blossomed in his face when he noticed that Kita was wearing red too. They walked from stall to stall, looking for something interesting. Atsumu kept the air lively as he chatted on and on about random things while Kita listened attentively with a smile on his face. Sakusa tried to listen too, but the amount of people in the festival's giving him anxiety. He's trying to make himself as small as possible, but the fact that he might be the tallest person in the venue is not helping. Sakusa, you okay? Sakusa swallowed. Yeah. Are you sure? You look pale. I'm fine, Achu. But I want to be with you, Achu. Oh. Atsumu was rendered speechless by the honest declaration. Okay. But if you don't feel good, just tell me, okay? We can just spend the night watching movies if you want. I'm fine, Achu. Okay. Sakusa unconsciously looked to see Kita's reaction. Sakusa blinked. Am I hallucinating, or was that a flash of approval I saw in his eyes? They are at the foot of the Ferris wheel. Atsumu said that the festival experience isn't complete if they don't ride the Ferris wheel, so they are waiting in line for the ride. The problem was, the seats can only hold 2 people, and as much as Sakusa hates the ride since there's no way it isn't full of germs, he can't let Atsumu go to the ride with Kita. He was about to speak up, to fight for his seat, but Kita beat him to the punch. You guys go ahead. I don't really want to ride it anyway, so I'll stay here. What? Are you sure, Kita-san? Yes. Now you kids have fun. Kita-san, we're only a year apart. That is not what Sakusa was expecting. He looked back at Kita as Atsumu pulled him into the seats. They looked into each other's eyes, but Sakusa can't identify the emotion there. But if he's going to have a guess, it would probably be, dare he say it, urging him on. Sakusa is confused. He expected to compete with Kita, feeling jealous of him all night. And he is. He's been trying to compete with Kita from the beginning, and he's jealous how easily and effortlessly he fits with Atsumu. They just naturally gravitate towards each other. But Sakusa doesn't know if it's his desperate brain making up delusions or what, but why does it seem like Kita's not competing with him? In fact, it seems like he's helping him even. He sometimes walks behind them, as if to give them space, only for Atsumu to pull him back into the conversation. He's been leaving them alone even. The first hint was the Ferris wheel, but throughout the night, Sakusa noticed it more and more. Kita is helping him and Sakusa doesn't know why, and it's irritating him. Like right now, it's almost time for the fireworks show and Kita volunteered to go find them a spot while he and Atsumu were left to buy foods. Sakusa was pulled out of his thoughts when he felt someone bump into him, causing him to bump into Atsumu. Atsumu started falling, but Sakusa caught him by the waist in time. Thank you, Sakusa. Here, let me hold the others. Atsumu handed Sakusa the other food he was holding. Are you sure you can eat that much food? Yup. Samu can eat more though. He's a glutton. Really? Yeah. Which is why he likes to cook a lot, so he can eat a lot too. Their fingers brushed together and they both flinched apart when they felt electricity sting them where they touched. Whoa. You okay? Yeah, just shocked. They began walking in a comfortable silence, and Sakusa gathered every courage he has in him and slowly intertwined his fingers with Atsumu. Atsumu looked down at their intertwined hands and blushed. Sakusa waited with dread for Atsumu to pull away, only to almost collapse in relief when his hands were squeezed. Atsumu started talking about how much of a glutton Osamu was again until they reached their destination. Kita looked at them, then at their hands, and Atsumu immediately removed his hands from Sakusa's. Sakusa tamped down the jealousy and decidedly kept his eyes away from Kita. He still doesn't know why he's seemingly helping him. Is he rubbing it in my face that even when he's helping me, Atsumu will still choose him in the end? That they are closer? That they know each other better? That he's Atsumu's first love? And that there's a chance that Atsumu might still love him? Those were Sakusa's initial thoughts. But as he studied him now, his interactions with Atsumu, Sakusa noticed something. There's something off with how Kita treated Atsumu. He couldn't put a finger on it before, but now, as he watches Kita wipe Atsumu's face free of food, he realized what it was that was wrong with the picture. Rather than treat Atsumu like how Suga treats Daichi, Kita treats Atsumu like how Suga treats Hinata. Kita loves Atsumu. That much was obvious. But is that love romantic or strictly platonic? Something closer to familial? Is Kita in love with Atsumu or not? And as Kita nods at Sakusa over Atsumu's shoulder, Sakusa feels like he already knows the answer. Sakusa is walking Atsumu home. Kita went home earlier, which only cements Sakusa's observations. Still though, he can't quite believe it. Sakusa needs to be sure. He startled when he felt fingers entwine with his. He looked at the blushing Atsumu at his side and tightened the grip on his hands. Hey Achu. Yes Sakusa, do you still like Kita? What? He's your first love, right? I don't know. What do you mean? I mean, it felt like it was. I was in love with him, I think. But when I compare it to how I feel about you, I don't think my feeling for him ever came close to being love. Oh. Sakusa feels his heart skip a beat. How about Kita then? He likes you still, right? That startled a laugh out of Atsumu. What? Isn't Kita courting you too? Ha 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 homie, what? Is that why you were acting so weird? You noticed? It's pretty obvious. Sakusa winced. Yes. I mean, I can't help but be jealous when I know you've known each other longer and that you even liked each other in the past. Not to mention Osamu keeps pushing you two together. Wait, you're jealous? Yes Achu. Atsumu floundered like a fish. The idea of Sakusa ever being jealous was something that just doesn't compute in Atsumu's mind. So he ignored it. What was that about Osamu? He keeps pushing you together. Probably wants to make you two fall in love with each other again. So that's what he was doing. Atsumu murmured to himself. They walked in silence, contemplating the information they both gathered. Wait, what do you mean Kita-san's courting me? Well, doesn't he like you still? Atsumu stopped, then laughed. Ha 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 ha. Oh my god Omi. That's hilarious. Sakusa pouted. His mask now removed so Atsumu saw it, making him laugh even louder. Omi, why are you so cute? Ha ha ha. What? It's a valid question. Omi. Kita-san doesn't like me. He's in love with someone from college. What? Who? Oh, his name is Tsumu. Inside now, neither noticed that they were already in front of the Mia household. Sakusa couldn't quite suppress the groan that came out of his mouth. Atsumu giggled at him. Let me guess. Samu's giving you a hard time? I think hell is a more accurate description. Atsumu giggled again. Tsumu. Coming little bro. Atsumu rolled his eyes then looked at Sakusa. You better get going. We don't want Osamu to physically kick me out of the neighborhood. Atsumu giggled at Sakusa's grimace. Yeah, I wouldn't put that past him. Bye Sakusa. Bye. Wait. Yes. Would you like to go on another date with me tomorrow? Of course. I'd love to. Bye now. Bye. Sakusa kind of wanted to stop Atsumu again, but he didn't really have a proper reason. Tsumu. Inside now. Sakusa looked up to see Atsumu still smiling at him. He raised an eyebrow. I thought you're going? Yes, well, you have to let go of my hand first. Oh right. Sakusa reluctantly let Atsumu's hands go. Tsumu. Atsumu started walking towards the door, but halfway through, he stopped. Atsumu, I swear to God if you're planning something. Atsumu suddenly turned around and began running to Sakusa. All Sakusa saw was a mischievous smile on Atsumu's face before he was tackled in a hug and a wet kiss was placed on his cheek. Atsumu. Before he could process what happened, Atsumu was already skipping into their house. The last thing Sakusa saw was Osamu's indignant expression change into irritation as he glared at Sakusa. Sakusa just smirked in reply. Osamu flipped him off before slamming the door closed, but nothing. Absolutely nothing could stop the sound of pure joy that rumbled out of Sakusa's throat. Osamu stared at his brother while Atsumu fidgeted under his brother's glare. What? What was that? What was what? That? The kiss. And don't you dare think I didn't see you two holding hands. It was nothing. 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 That sure as hell wasn't nothing, Tsumu. Don't tell me you've forgiven him already. Of course not. Really? Because it seems like you have. Samu. No. Don't Samu me. What was that? I haven't forgiven him yet, okay? I don't think I can. At least not for a while. I don't know why he's doing this. He claims he loves me, but like you said, he wouldn't have treated me like dirt if he did. And I just want to feel his love. Whether or not it's true, I just want to feel it. So I'm making use of the opportunity. At least until he gets tired of whatever game he's playing. Is it so bad for me to pretend that he does love me? Osamu didn't know what to think. Is he supposed to say that Sakusa does love him, which Osamu still doesn't fully believe? Or is he supposed to let Atsumu think so low of himself? Before he could decide though, Atsumu stood up. I'm going to bed, Samu. Good night. Atsumu kissed his brother's forehead before going to bed. He doesn't really do that anymore, but Osamu's really stressed. Kissing his forehead is Atsumu's way of letting him know that everything will be okay. Sakusa is irritated. Just like how he doubled his efforts in wooing Atsumu, Osamu also doubles his efforts of getting in his way. Which brings them here now. On his date with Atsumu, Osamu decided to tag along. Atsumu gave him an apologetic smile and he nodded in understanding. It should be counted as a blessing that Osamu's just content to watch. Except he's watching them like a hawk. And they can't talk freely because it's too awkward. Also, Sakusa's really nervous about Osamu's silence. Like why? Just say something. Let out your salty insides and diss me. Sakusa feels like an alien specimen being studied by scientists. They've finished eating and Osamu finally spoke. Let's go see Kita-san. But Osamu glared at both of them. Sure. It's easier to just cooperate. They reached Kita's house and knocked on the door, which was opened by Kita, who invited them inside. Hey, what are you doing here? Just wanted to hang out. What are you doing, Kita-san? Oh, I'm just packing my things. What for? I'm going back to Tokyo. So soon? You still have 5 days left before classes start. I still have requirements that I haven't finished yet. One of them's a group project, so my group decided to meet this week to finish the project. But it's vacation. Yes, well, some teachers don't really care. Oh. Can I help back? Sure. Sakusa can't help but celebrate inside. But as his and Kita's eyes meet, he can't help but wonder if Kita's reason for going to Tokyo early was true. Sakusa also helped in packing because he couldn't just stand there and do nothing. He was helping Atsumu pack something when he bumped on the table behind him. A small notebook fell, and as Sakusa picked it up, he noticed it was open. He unconsciously read it. Written in the notebook was requirements and a list of school projects and assignments written below it, all crossed out. Sakusa still can't quite believe that Kita doesn't like Atsumu that way. No, that's not exactly the right term. He knows deep down that Kita doesn't like Atsumu that way, but he doesn't dare hope. It wasn't until later, when Osamu borrowed Kita's kitchen to prepare food and dragged Atsumu to help him, that Sakusa's worries were put to rest. It won't be easy courting Atsumu. Sakusa looked at Kita. You made a mistake. A big one, and it won't be easy to rectify that. But Atsumu loves you and I can see that you love him too. Kita smiled. Atsumu doesn't really care what people thinks about him, but that only really applies to people he doesn't care about. He's also very stubborn. If he gets something in his head, it's very hard to change that opinion. And you are someone who Atsumu cares for very much, who, although unintentionally, still put in Atsumu's mind that you don't love him. Although it may seem like it, Osamu isn't your real enemy here. It's Atsumu's mind. Just don't give up and show Atsumu how much you love him. Osamu will see soon. Atsumu, though, will take longer to see. That's fine for me. Even if it takes me a lifetime, I will show Atsumu how much I love him. Whether he forgives me now, or never will, I will still show him. Kita laughed, then patted Sakusa's shoulder. I'm glad. Kita smiled at Sakusa and went to see if his kitchen is still intact. Sakusa spent the entire week thinking of Kita as an enemy, but maybe He just found his greatest ally. Extra scene. Is that the bouquet Sakusa gave you? Yes. It's pretty, right? Osamu hummed. It was pretty, but he's not going to admit that. A shine caught his eyes. Osamu went closer and examined the bouquet. His eyebrows furrowed when he saw a piece of glass on top of one of the gold roses. He picked the rose up for closer inspection and was surprised by the cold, hard texture of not a rose. What the? Is this real fucking gold? Yup. And real fucking diamond too. Holy shit. A beat. Let's sell it. What? Samu, no. What do you mean no? Do you know how much this costs? No. And frankly, I don't wanna know. Fair enough. Well, what are you gonna do with it? Put in a glass dome a la Beauty and the Beast? Osamu said sarcastically. No. Tsumu. What? It has sentimental value. Financial value is better. No, it's not. Yes, it is. It's not. It is. It's not. It reminds me of Sakusa. Who the fuck needs memories? Blink blink motherfucker. Did you just use our motto against me? What about it? The twins just stared each other down in silence then. Tsumu, I changed my mind. About what? You can get back together with Sakusa now, but make sure to include me in the will when you get married. Samu.